Hi, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. My name's FM18, and you're watching the Dafuge Challenge, episode 85, with Enfield Town FC. Well, as it turns out, the Leeds United game isn't the most important game of the season yet. Right now, it's the Luton Town game. If we draw or win, and I think that's correct, we avoid the drop. If we lose, we are still relegation eligible, which means we'll be playing the Leeds United game as well. In the meantime, after beating Nottingham Forest, we were home against Derby County, and we beat them 4-1. Matthew Cook, a 25th minute goal. Yari with a 37-minute goal. Mungo with a brace of goals, 5 minutes apart, 57th and 62nd minute. Connor Ronan broke up the clean sheet with a goal in the 14th minute to get the scoring started. We were really good today. 11 shots, 8 on target. The defense was strong. The offense was strong. They did just not have a good day at all. 6-0 from their defensive left back, a 6-1 from their defensive center left back, 6-3 and 6-4 from their defensive right back and defensive center right back. We just abused them all game, and we could have had more goals. Adams had a couple very nice saves. We were then away at Cardiff, and they were vying for a playoff spot. They needed some help, and unfortunately, they did not get it. They ended up winning 1-0 on an 87th minute Lawal goal that, well, I'll be honest, they earned it. They had 18 shots, 9 on target, a decent possession advantage. We had 7 shots, 2 on target. We did really well all game to bend but not break. And we broke at an inopportune moment. Lawal had a very nice goal, but, we held them to 1, which is good. Considering our last few games, we've done really well to hold opponents to 3. And that leaves us in 19th place, tied with Sheffield United and Derby County on 48 points. We're tied with Sheffield United for goal differential, but we've beaten them both games, I believe, and so we are ahead of them. Unless they're using something else like goals for, which could also make sense. If we lose the next 2 games and Nottingham Forest wins the next 2 games, we get relegated. So it all depends on what happens in this game. The good news is we're playing 23rd Luton Town. So I don't know. I'm not expecting them to roll over and die, as it were, but I don't think they'll give us that much of a game. We'll have to see and find out. If push comes to shove, we'll play the Luton Town game. Depending on what happens here, we may or may not play the Leeds United game, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I am going to finish going through the daily routine here and then set the best 11, and we will come back for the Luton Town game in just a bit. Well, against Luton Town, we are playing our 4-3-3. Ward in goal, Gardner, Jones, Durante, and Colwell as the defensive back 4. Collins, Knight, and Archer as the midfield 3. Bridge, Cook, and Yari up top as the strikers. The good news, at least from my point of view, is Durante has agreed to come back on loan next season, and that season, the following season, the coming season I should say, I'm only responsible for half his salary, as opposed to the full 100% salary that I'm responsible for this last half of this season. So we're interested in what Nottingham Forest is doing. Let me get that game set up. Or let me get that. No, that's not it. There we go. Byers with the ball. Up to Sewell. To Smith. He sends it up to Delaney, but his shot's wide left. Oh, penalty kick from just outside the box. Off the crossbar. Gardner has it. Sends it up to Bridge. Over to Yari. He taps up to Colwell. And why would you end the highlight there? Come on. Delaney with the throw in for Luton Town. To Lavery. Back to Delaney. To Smith. To Randall. Randall sends it up again. Sewell shot is blocked by Ward. Nice job there, Wayne. Coming up on halftime. Not a lot of action. We've had 4 shots, but they've all been off target. Oh, 1 shot just on target now. Luton Town's in the same boat. We've got the possession advantage. We just haven't been able to do anything with it. Moving right to left now. Gardner, long ball up, Bridge, crosses it in, Yari is there, and it went over. I can't tell if it hit the crossbar or not. It looked like Boyle maybe got a hand on it. Archer runs the ball down off the corner kick. Long cross in, well, right to Boyle, couldn't get there. Forrest and Bristol are still tied. Need to get a goal, guys. Bridge is going to come over to the right side and become, or stay rather, the advanced forward. Murray is going to come to the center and be a target man. We're going to bring on Ashton to replace Cook and make him the poacher. Everyone else is doing okay so far. No, Nottingham Forest got 2 quick goals. Draw or a win. Either is good. Gardner to Yari, who taps up to Ashton. Back to Knight. Over to Archer. He passes out into space. Bridge is there. Oh, Colwell. I have no idea what the heck that was. 13 shots, 2 on target, 9 have been off target. That is just... Our only saving grace is that Luton Town has been not as bad as we've been. Smith with the ball to Byers. Centers it to Randall, who brings it forward into Sewell, and they score. Son of a gun. Come on, guys. Oh, it was disallowed. He was offsides. Okay. Well, Yari's on a 6-2, but... Oh, nuts. Okay, you know what? Mungo hurt his knee, apparently. So we'll bring Cousins on. Yari hurt his knee, too. Okay. All 3 of my strikers out. Ward up to Cole. To Knight to Archer. Back to Collins, who sends it up. Cousins has it. Feeds Humphreys. Oh, just high and wide. Just need a draw, boys. Hold out for the draw. Coming up on 90 minutes. I'm going to say 4 minutes extra time. 17 shots, 2 on target for us. That is just awful. I was right on the injury time. It's the small things in life that make me happy. Just need the draw, boys. The defense has been really good this game. Colwell with the throw in, and that is the game. And I do believe we have just avoided relegation. Let us find out. 18 shots, 2 on target. Part of me really doesn't want to open my eyes to see what happens here. Yari, 1 to 3 days. Mungo, 6 to 8 days. Could have been a lot worse. We're on 49 points. Nottingham is on 46 points. Our goal differential's better. So if we lose and they win, they're at 49 points. They have to score 13 goals to beat us. I think. You know what? Let's find out. I'm going to play that game offline and see what happens. Well, we needed a tie. We got a win, thanks to Mungo Bridge with a brace of goals in the 25th and 87th minutes. It really was a close run thing because Leeds was on the attack all game. 23 shots, 8 on target, huge possession advantage. We had 3 shots, 2 on target, and those 2 counted. As a result, we have safely avoided relegation. 19th place, 14 wins, 10 draws, 22 losses, 104 goals for, 113 against, for 52 points, good enough for a 19th place finish. Nottingham Forest, Luton Town, and Oxford have been relegated. Brighton and Hull have been promoted. Millwall, Cardiff, Norwich, and Sunderland are in the playoffs. And we have got to get ready for the off-season. Mungo joined us our second season in League 2? No, Mungo joined us in League 2, coming from Billericay. We paid £15,250 for him. And since then, he has been absolutely fabulous. This season, 46 appearances across all competitions. Well, you know what? Let me take out the non-competitives. No, that is the non-competitives. This season, in 46 appearances against all competitive competitions, 35 goals, 19 assists, 6 players of the match, 7.62 rating. Absolutely phenomenal. 4.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. I don't know where we'd be without him, to be honest with you. Going to the rest of the squad, Yari had an excellent season. 35 appearances, 24 goals, 14 assists, 5 players in the match. Matthew Cook, when he wasn't injured, was pretty good. 20 goals, 13 assists, 6 players in the match. Barry Cousins, Barry lost his place about halfway through the season. And he's not going to be back next season. Even so, 17 goals, 4 assists, 3 players in the match. They constituted 90% of our scoring, it looks like. Oliver Skipp had a few goals, Tom Collins a few goals, but a nice amount of assists, 4 players in the match. Wayne Ward was solid all season, started every game in the championship. Yeah, he allowed 110 goals, only had 2 shutouts, but I don't know, I'm kind of in the air about him. Part of me wants to keep him. Part of me wants to see what else is out there. So Ben Wilson, Liam Smith, Stephen Humphreys, Barry Cousins, Ryan Edwards, probably Jack Lee, Schlotterbeck. Frankly, anybody who's 2.5 stars or less is probably going to be leaving. That does bother me. Well, with the exception of Tom Ashton. Tom Ashton is here until the end. I am going to lose some influential players. I think what we've discovered with this season is the team's good enough to get into a relegation fight. And I don't know that I can go through that again. Especially when some of the players that are leaving, including, let me turn this on, a lot of the players who are out on loan. Medford Smith is not coming back. Charlie Smith, probably not coming back. Ryan Schofield, definitely not coming back. It's going to be a tough offseason, that's for sure. The next question is, how much money do I have to work with? You know what? I'm going to stop recording here. We'll come back with the end of season awards and things like that. And then we will wrap up season 9. Well, Jason Knight has officially been inducted into the best 11. 154 appearances he's had for us. Not a lot of goals scored, but he joined us our last season in League 2. Played a lot of years at Derby County, was at AFC Wimbledon and filed. Came to us on a free. Is one of those players that every team seems to have. Doesn't really stand out, but does a lot of the small things really well. Doesn't get a lot of goals, doesn't get a lot of assists. He's one of those guys that you never notice, but he's always there doing his part. Into season awards. Mungo Bridge, Player of the Season. Yari Murray, Signing of the Season. Also the Young Player of the Season. Jason Knight, the goal versus Barnsley. Oh, this was the screamer from outside the box. Let me pull this up here. So Cook feeds Bridge, and the ball is knocked away. Cook gets it back. Backheel pass to Collins, who taps it over to Knight, who's at the top of the D. And just a laser shot. I think that is the only goal he had this season. But yeah, definitely goal of the season worthy. I think we met most of our expectations. They wanted us to fight bravely against relegation. You know what? I can go there and find out. We reached the 4th round. They wanted us to avoid relegation. They wanted us to reach the 1st round of Carabao. That's the only thing we didn't do. But I think they wanted us to fight bravely against relegation. I think avoiding relegation is more than they expected. This is going to be one of the big off-season decisions. I like Matthew Cook. He's 20 years old. He's got a ton of potential. But frankly, part of me says if he was a horse, I would have shot him a long time ago just to put him out of his misery. 4 more injuries this season. He is just... I may put him out there just to see what I can get. If I can get anything close to his estimated value, especially considering we got him in on a free, totally going to take the earliest start date we can, 6/28. I'm going to write that down. Initial budgets. Ooh, stadium plans too. Okay. Initial budgets. I'm not looking. I'm clicking and I'm not looking. Ew. Well, the wage budget's definitely... Our wage budget right now is 71. So it's a 30. Well, we can fool around with that a little bit, get a little bit more. 8 months to complete. So it'll be completed right after the beginning of next year. So we're going to go play at Brisbane Road. It's going to cost us $3.2 million. Are we taking out a loan for that? Brisbane Road. Yep, 9,300. That's where Orient plays. Okay. Annual youth setup. We don't have an annual youth setup. It's one of the reasons our youth intakes have been so freaking horrible. We'll go forward one day, and then we'll check the finances. We lost 1.8. Oddly enough, we had 3.2 million in investments, and we spent 3.2 on ground maintenance for the expansion. Yeah, took out another loan. Okay. Well, that makes 3 stadium loans we're paying off. Well, the end of this season was as exciting as the end of last season, albeit for entirely different reasons. However, we avoided the drop. You know what, let's see who's coming down here real quick. West Ham, Crystal Palace, and Middlesbrough. Okay. Fun times. Fun times. Well, next year, I don't care what the players say. Mid-table or bust. Now, I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword when you come to the end of the season like that, and any one of 3 or 4 games at the end can decide which way you go. I made a judgment call. Chances are I called it wrong. I should have played the last game online regardless of what was going to happen. But I'll be honest with you there, it was a little bit of a worry for me at the end as to whether or not we would get the win or the draw. Mungo came through for us in absolutely heroic fashion. Now comes the off-season, which is going to be interesting, and not just because I totally bottled the team talk when I said, hey, we can avoid a relegation fight, and everybody on the team said, A, you're smoking something, and B, we're upset you're not sharing what you're smoking with us, so our attitude's going to completely tank. I don't think it's going to be a complete roster turnover, but a lot of the guys here now are going to be gone. With the exception of Barry Cousins, who, after I stopped recording and before I recorded this, had his contract extended by a year because he played in 5 league games. That's what I get for not paying attention to the details. Well, this offseason, we're going to try and pay attention to the details and get this team in a better position to compete. I really want to try for mid-table. Luckily, mid-table is about 18th place or better. So, that's the goal. That's the plan. Let's see how it works out. If you liked what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I'll answer them as fast as I can. My name's FM18. I thank you for watching.